A white couple saved my life today. Y'all, I'm ready to tell my story. I decided to come out there's a local arboretum in town. I don't know if I'm saying that word right, but you get the drift. Originally, it was not my plan to come here today because the weather is a little sketch. We'll get back to that in a second. So I was strolling the gardens, looking around, just enjoying my day. And then I decided, let me head back to the car. I'm ready to go. As I'm going down the path, I see an older gentleman, and two dogs. Now, one of these dogs was leashed, and he was holding the leash. The other was not. And I think in his mind, he thought maybe this was my dog because he kind of shooed him and looked at me like, you handle that? But in reality now, reflecting on it, I think he was glad to see me and, let me handle that. This dog, I don't know if it's a stray or if it's someone's pet that got loose because it did not have a collar. There's no leash. It looked thin, but it didn't look like it was starving thin, you can see their bones, but some dogs are really just athletic and you see their bones regardless. So I couldn't tell. I don't know if this is someone's pet that's gotten loose or if this is a stray. For context, I grew up with a dog. I am not afraid of dogs. I have been around dogs plenty of times. I like dogs, right? For context, that's important here. So this dog keeps coming across my path. So I'm just trying to go the opposite direction. Anyone who has been around dogs knows that they teach you, if they're chasing you, stop. Because if you start running, that's going to encourage them to chase you more. So I just am trying to tell myself, walk slowly, be calm, don't make eye contact. Because I can't tell if this dog thinks I'm playing with him. There was 2 times when he came up to me and jumped on me as if I was going to give him a treat or something. And again, this is a strange dog. There's no owner around to just constrain him. I'm alone. I'm not with anyone. So I'm, again, trying to keep calm, but internally, the pressure is rising. Somebody on here is going to be like, why didn't you film the dog? Why didn't you show us? Why didn't you grab that content? I brought my phone out a couple times, not to film content, to call for help because this dog would not leave me alone, y'all. If I went to the left, he would cross my path. Side note, originally, I didn't even plan on going to the Arboretum today. And that's why I'm dressed the way I am. So honestly, I think the reason he kept chasing me or coming after me, because he was sniffing like crazy. I like sweet, fruity perfumes. My perfume smells like vanilla. I smell like a cupcake. So he probably thought I had food. Every time I took my phone out, he looked at me like I had something in my hand that would be something he'd be interested in. Sir, this phone is not going to taste good to you. But I think in his mind, he's like, she's got food. And that was my mistake. I should have, once I decided to put real clothes on, nature was not in the cards today. And now that I reflect on it, I don't know if it was a he or a she, but maybe I just assumed that because I'm used to male aggression. Anyway, it just kept crossing my path. It didn't matter which way I went. And so I was just I wanted to get away from it, but in a calm manner. I pulled out my phone to call the Arboretum to see if they have someone on staff that's close by, someone that works for Parks and Rec that can help contain this dog. Then I get out, then I'm like, well, let me try animal control. Animal control wasn't open yet. They don't open until noon. What? I have an emergency situation. Then I was starting to call the police, but I couldn't find the non-emergency number. I kept finding all these other police numbers, but it wasn't the official non-emergency line. And I was 0.5 seconds away from calling 911. Again, I'm not afraid of dogs, but I don't fool with strays because strays, that's another animal, literally. That's a different breed. You don't want to fool with strays because you really don't know what their mental is like. They might be hungry. Their animal instincts are at a higher elevation than your little Mr. Ed that you got at home. I just was not trying to fool with this dog, and I was getting panicky after probably 15 minutes of this. No joke. Finally, I look up, and I see a white couple coming. Now, they were, I don't know, 100 yards from me. I'm not really good at spatial reasoning, so they might be 20 yards. It might have been 400. I don't know. But they were kind of far away, and the dog was super hyperactive, so it kept running fast this way and running fast that way. So it went in the direction of the couple. And I was like, Could this be it? I look back and I see them petting the dog. And I said, that's why we love y'all white people and how much y'all love animals. I was ecstatic because I knew that even if Fido was still looking for me, he had those two white people that were going to be concerned enough to take him off my plate. And so I calmly got out of that arboretum and into this car. And y'all, that's exactly how.